Hey folks, how you doing? I'd like to share with you something that I've been trying to do for the last couple years. Actually, this goes back, the idea goes back several years, decades actually. And that is creating narrative for songs that would be performed live. And this particular tune deals with a love story in the most peculiar way. As you know, what I communicate on this channel is dealing with the nature of what we are in regards to our spiritual nature and the infinite aspect of who we are, you know. And this song is relative to the soul's journey's path that I was inspired by and drew from deep feelings within myself and came up with this particular tune. Again, it's a love story. I won't tell you what it's about, but there's a narrative explaining the circumstances leading into the song, which will be a live performance accompanied by video. So that being said, hope you enjoy.
It was commonplace strategy for reconnaissance teams to be sent out in couples, usually husband and wife teams. And on this particular mission, a husband and wife engineering team was sent to investigate particular suspicious activity on a nearby planet along its oceanic grid. Normally when doing these types of reconnaissance runs, a small scout ship would be used, and the basic line of defense in this case would be that of skillful navigation and being a great pilot. Now when approaching the area of suspicion, Ares, the male, and Crystalline, the female, maintained scanning for any suspicious energy signatures. They weren't detecting any unusual activity, although they did observe a herd of sea mammals in migration. And while in the moment, suddenly they fell under attack. A particle beam had struck their craft. Quickly, they both engaged emergency protocol for individual shielding, but not before they were struck again. But this time by a non-lethal energy weapon designed for capture. Ares' shielding was activated just before he would have been affected by the weapon, and he quickly piloted the craft out of the sector and into orbit. He then reported the encounter to base command and for them to respond with reinforcements. It was at this point he had noticed that Crystalline was lying on the floor. He then hurried over to her calling her name, but there was no reply. Crystalline hadn't been as fortunate as Ares, for her shielding did not engage prior to the effects of the energy weapon. Ares had seen this weapon used before and understood what it was designed for. The weapon's purpose was for capture, but not physical capture. It was designed to separate the being's soul from the body in order to capture the being's life source. Upon Ares' return to the base, he fell into a deep sorrow, and he vowed within himself to find and reunite with his love, Crystalline. After placing her body in chronic storage, he gave his debriefing, and then soon after began his search for her. Week after week of searching within that particular sector, and then he recalled the moment prior to the attack. And then he smiled, remembering that moment they had when they were watching the whales. He knew what it meant to her. He then began to scan her frequency among the aquatic life, and then there she was. She was now residing in a whale's body. Now, one of the effects of the weapon is that it causes amnesia. So he pondered what he would do, his approach. How would he reacquaint himself to her? I mean, would she be able to remember him? After all, she's in a whale's body and living in a water world surrounded by aquatic life. But for Ares, there was no other option but to reunite with his love, whatever the outcome may be.
place within me, floating in liquid space, a world of water, mirroring the echoes of